Welcome to Picture Day. Woo, woo,
What's
woo.
good? What was it? Classes in session?
Classes in setting. Your teacher's here. So, actually, we have a sub. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no.
I'm Kim McVicar,
Mike Masilotti.
and today we have our guest, Dave Yates. I said
Dave
that 10 seconds. I've
Yates.
never called him David in my life.
Nope, it's
Because
just
my
hey
husband's
you.
name is David. That's what it is.
Am I bulky and approachable?
I hope so. We'll find out. Internet, is he? Okay.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, in the comments.
That's so inappropriate.
Is Dave Yates
know,
Dave Yates bulky and approachable?
We want both.
Who doesn't?
Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here in an undisclosed location in Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, we don't want you to find us. So, did you go to school when you were growing up?
I went to school.
You know what? One day someone's gonna say no.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, I went to public school. I have very vivid memories of grade school, and then I had to switch schools in sixth grade, so that was different.
When you started school, did you do like kindergarten or did you go?
I did
Pre-K?
preschool, so
Okay.
we did preschool at the First Church of the Nazarene.
What is that church?
I played t-ball there, and like it
so
was
not like church. It was just in a church.
No, yeah, it was preschool in a church. Both my parents worked. Like, we were never really churchy people. We were like weekend warrior churchers, just to keep up with this south side of Chicago thing that was going on. So then I went from First Church of the Nazarene to, it was called Schilling.
That's
Yeah.
a scary name for a school.
It's not like it's Schindler's List grade school.
Sounds scary.
I think of the pitcher, Kurt Schilling.
Oh, sports.
The pitcher.
Yeah.
Was he a Philly?
Yeah. Wow. Don't act like you didn't know.
This was most of my childhood, was
Oh,
just
okay.
being a nerd about sports and baseball and karate.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, Schilling for grade school 1 through 5, and then I remember I got straight A's in fourth grade and fourth grade only
Congratulations. Congrats. I don't think I ever got straight A's. Did you?
because my mom said if I got straight A's, we could get cable. We were like the only.
Worth it.
We
Worth
were like
it.
the only family that did not have cable television.
That's huge.
I used to get passing money.
Wow.
I would get money. I get $50 if I passed,
Whoa.
and then
that's
$100
cool.
if I
Wow.
got straight A's.
That
I
is-
only ever got $50.
That's so smart though, to give that incentive. Like,
It's a lot of money just to
Yeah.
get by.
I mean,
though.
it's more
to be like
it's more
50
accurate to the real world. Like, their incentive, just get the job done. Here's
Just
money.
pass and here's $50.
if my parents did that, I remember my buddy graduated. He was like the rich kid of our group, and then when he graduated, out of all his relatives and shit, he told us he got like 15 grand total.
What?
And
When he
this is when we're
graduated high
18.
school?
Yeah. He's like, his grandmother gave him a couple. His aunt, it was all his big family.
Wow.
They gave him all these envelopes.
Where was this?
Upstate New York.
Yeah.
But we were all like these broke kids, and I remember just looking at this dude, like we're all 18, figuring out what we're gonna do with our next set, and we were like, Jim's rich, he's got
Yeah.
$15,000.
Yeah, $15,000 is rich.
That's a
Yeah.
good start though for 18.
Yeah, crazy. It was so wild.
I went right to work at 15. Like, I remember I had to
What was
go.
your first job?
I worked at a hippie stoner store called Hot Rags in Orland Park Mall.
Hot Rags.
And the only reason I got the job there is because I could put together skateboards.
Cool.
So when I was 15, like, skateboarding was like hitting it, How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
37.
37, as am I. So skateboarding
These
wa-
little young boys I got with
I
me.
know. Well, it's
Winning.
Cougar Teach.
Class is in session.
And it was none of the hippies there knew how to put together skateboards, but the owner, Bill Lanzarata. This is how deep this goes in my brain. I will never remember your birthday, Kim, but I will remember these little details.
Good though.
And he hired me because I could put together skateboards quick. And so that was like my first introduction to like jam band music.
Cool.
Because I just got brought in as this like punk skater kid. And then all the hippies there were like Fish and the Grateful Dead and Cat Stevens and Rusted Root. So yeah, they sold incense and tapestries and all kinds of, and rolling papers, because you couldn't buy glass pipes in the city that we were in. You could only buy them in Chicago.
Did you smoke?
Weed, yeah, of course. I could still remember the first time I ever smoked weed.
How old were you?
I think it was on the school bus home between 7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
So,
What do you mean on the bus?
well, it was me and Ozzy Pasmino, and he was
Is he gonna be okay with you saying his name?
I mean, we smoked
bad.
weed as children together. So
Okay. Ozzy.
I honestly, he might be in jail. So unless you got podcasts in jail, I don't know.
They do.
Well, what, Ear Hustle, is that the one where all the inmates make podcasts?
Do they have one? That's cool.
They
Ear
have
Hustle,
to.
it's good.
It's 3 extra years if you get caught with a phone in prison. But if you're there for life, who cares?
Yeah, we just got to keep
Give
it.
us those pods, man.
Yeah, well, that I think
Prison
it's
pod.
a proof through the prison for them to like tell stories and like work
To a
on.
certain degree. The whole reason the no phone thing is because they were going through like areas and showing like how gross it really is.
Oh yeah,
And then it was like,
exposing.
oh, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Now you got to go in the hole.
prison industrial complex. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So
But,
your first job was putting skateboards together
Yeah,
at
yeah.
15. That's such a cool first job. But like your friends, like were you looked upon as like this dope? Because that's a young age to have a job, and you're doing something cool.
Well, look, this was like my first official job. Like my old man was like a mechanic in the rail yards of Chicago.
Oh,
So like
shit.
he used to pimp me out to his friends, like to do like yard work and shit. Like I would put down, I got paid in cases of beer before I could drink.
Oh,
Nice.
To
damn.
do like hardwood flooring. I could do landscaping, like put brick coin along like tree lines and stuff. And I remember I hated it. And he's like, "You're gonna learn how to do all these things so you never go hungry." And I haven't. So
Do you feel like you use those skills now?
oh, I'm very handy.
Yeah,
Like,
that's cool.
I mean, until I got a new car recently, I would do all my own work. Anything that I couldn't, anything that I could do from the ground up, I would do. Yeah. So, one of my earliest memories of my old man was him coming home with like grease and cuts in his hand and putting them in my face, going, "You don't want to live like this.
Oh, damn.
Go to school."
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So in 4th grade, you got cable.
Yeah. I look at Kim's like
Wait, let's figure this out.
mild childhood abuse to cable television.
Yeah, but that's where I learned about child abuse because
Was cable
every
television?
Simpson episode, Bart got hit. He's not allowed to get hit anymore. Bart
Oh,
Simpson.
and the shows? Is
Yeah,
it like a
they're
thing?
taking or the choking thing. They
They're-
took it out because it was
going soft.
It was bad.
Wait, did they like take it out of the old reruns?
No. They're
would-
just not allowed to do it anymore.
Yeah, I don't
okay.
think they're going back over old Simpsons.
What would they
gonna say.
digitally change his hands to?
Well, I just thought
it
it
would
would be
just
a
be
hard
Bart be
cut.
like, "Oh, I just
You
visualized
just see
it."
like Homer get all mad, and then it just cuts to like them walking away.
They
or
just
something.
hug.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they reanimate it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Or no, they CGI like bread between his hands, like kind of like an idiot sandwich.
yeah,
Like,
stress ball. If you
uh,
and then he cuts to the camera. If you
Gordon
feel
Ramsay.
anger, yeah.
Yeah, I was like a working kid, a sports kid, and then I never got straight A's again after I got cable. I was like, fuck this.
What was your show that you watched?
I was a Simpsons head. I loved South Park. Still do.
Hell
South
yeah.
Park is
So
still
good.
the goat of cartoon television. I Comedy Central just blew my mind because when I first got cable, like I had no idea this existed. Like sometimes we would get like reruns of like BET stuff, you know, like Comic View. But like when I got Comedy Central, it was bananas to me that all this stuff, like it was mostly stand up.
Right.
Like it was
Yeah.
less other shit and more stand up. Now it's like if
There's
you
like premium blend and
Right.
Comedy Central presents.
I used to
and, like,
watch Dave Attell's, what was it, Up All Night or Out Too Late? or
Insomniac?
Insomniac. There,
Love that show.
it was getting there.
It was good. It was good.
It was great. Insomniac was great.
I remember my first memory. Like it wasn't really necessarily I wanted to be a stand-up comic. I just wanted that guy's life.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
come
yeah.
to find out, he gets sober eventually because you can't maintain that life.
Yeah, it is funny though to look at back when we were kids because I still see him as like, or these comics, these people we grew up with when we get to be an age where it's like, oh, you were like my age when you were doing that show. You know what I mean? Like he must have
Oh,
been in his
yeah.
what, like 30, late 30s?
Easily.
Right? He's not
Looks
that
the
old,
same.
but he's old. He's older.
He looks the same though.
So
That's cool.
It's like that's such a cool job at like that. Yeah.
I think the alcohol like froze him in time because he
Nice.
looks the same to me at least, and I've met him in person.
He's tiny.
Yeah, he's got a flip phone too. If you ever meet Dave Attell, like he's
Yeah.
loyal to the flip phone, not life.
Yeah, the short guys, when I see like pictures of like even like Kevin Hart, like the people you expect to be bigger, like I saw Rogan in person once and you're like, bro, you're so short. Like it's wild to think like you always assume. That's why I say presidents are always tall. It's a big thing where like every one of our presidents was like I think over like 5'11" or some crazy shit, or like 5'10", like because it's like especially in person when you see a big tall dude and a short, like you're gonna lean like, oh, that guy can lead me better, even if they can't.
Right.
So that's why like, but a lot of actors
Good
for
thing
some
you're
reason,
tall.
That's right.
you're a tall guy, but they say
6'3".
actors they want them to be short. You're 6'3"?
I slouch a lot to kind of.
Do you not like being tall?
I don't mind it. I just slouch a lot because I don't want to like tower over people and make them feel like I'm an ominous presence. I don't want to be. I don't want to be
feelings. It's your body.
I don't
want to
be buggy. Yeah, I've got issues, Kim.
No, but I
you want to go back to why I have? We could draw the string. Like we're talking about grade school. Like, ever been in a fight?
Were you tall as a kid?
Oh yeah, I lost
yes.
a bunch.
Yeah. What about you, Kim?
Not
Fights?
yet.
You've never been in a fight
I
in your
know.
entire
What
life.
a bummer.
Have you?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh. 100%.
Did you start them or did you?
No,
Okay.
no, I was always the one getting picked on.
Oh,
so
okay.
like I used
Defensive.
I used to get bullied a lot, and comedy, and I would always just defend myself to the best of my ability. You know, like I still got scars on my eyebrows from getting jumped at a party in college.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
So it never stopped the bullying.
No, still
Hey kids, don't go to college.
Yeah,
if
don't,
you
yeah.
get bullied, it's not worth it.
When they say it gets better,
homeschool.
yeah, it does in some.
No, yeah, one of the,
So it gets better.
yeah, one of the more traumatic ones was I had some friends that lived up the street from me, and they invited me to go play baseball. You know, like pick up, you know, maybe with a tennis ball, and I had to watch my younger brother, who was 4 years younger than me, so he had to follow me on his little bicycle. This will make sense in a second. And I show up to Robbie's house, and the door opens, and it was the school bus bully waiting for me. So I turn and burn and like try to get back to my house, which was like a couple blocks down the way. And I get into the garage. I'm starting to close it, but my brother's not in the garage yet.
Uh-oh.
And so like I couldn't just lock him out with those people. So then the bully makes it into the garage and kicks the shit out of me.
Damn.
On your own property?
In my own garage.
Oh,
I was
that
just in that
sucks.
garage a couple weeks ago. I mean, being in the house I grew up in always does, you know, and I'm cool.
Do you guys
with
still
it.
have the original house you grew up in? Like
Oh,
your
yeah.
family? Oh, that's a trip.
Oh, yeah.
We actually just last week when my family got together, we like brought up the picture because our childhood house was just resold.
Oh.
And we got to see like, and it was just so weird because when I looked at it, it's like my backyard that in my head was like, when I told stories about it, it's like, bro, we had land. We had nothing. It was
We
so
had a
small.
quarter acre.
Because you were smaller.
Yeah, and I remember riding my bike around this thing and going through the side. We had a side yard and a backyard. It was like, bro, we had,
Patches.
yeah.
we were middle class as it gets, so I had no delusion over like big houses versus ours, because the neighborhood that, you know, because where we lived, we're just far enough outside of the city where there started to be corn, and then they started developing all around us. Like our neighborhood was a township, and then it became a city.
What does that mean?
So it's unincorporated.
He's going to do well on the test.
Yeah,
that's what that
that's
means. That means
crazy.
he's
I
going to
didn't
do
know
well
that-
on the test.
I didn't even know that.
I'm
Did
a
you know that
public
was a
school kid forever.
But okay, so I didn't know that. So there's before you can be like a city, you're a town. Shit,
Yeah.
that
It's
makes
like,
sense.
Yeah.
well, it's like unincorporated. So like it was called Homer Township, and so it was like
Simpsons reference.
yeah, and
We should take a Simpsons test.
we should.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I'll be good for the first 10 seasons, and then I fell off. And then it became Homer Glen, Illinois. So that's, you know, I was born on the south side of Chicago, and then it got too bad. And
I was gonna say because I heard that's always what people talk about, the shootings and all that. Is South Side, right?
Yeah, but it's more dangerous than anywhere else in the world, you know. But my dad worked in like the rail yard. He used to tell me stories about like someone putting a gun to his head, and he's like, "Look, you can take all my money." And the phone at the time was like the brick thing
With
that was,
with the AA batteries?
well, not even that. Like he had like a car phone for his
Uh-huh.
work truck at the rail yard,
Oh, my
right?
God.
And this dude came up to him who was coming out of the Steak and Egger, which is a very famous 24-hour breakfast spot on the south side of Chicago. There's a couple of them. He was coming out of the Egger, and like the guy put a gun to his head. He's like, "Look, like you can have all my money, you can take my cards, like I won't call or cancel them, so you can get what you want, but you can't take my tools. Like this is how I feed my family. You can't take my work truck tools."
Wow.
And so the guy took all the money and stuff and uncocked the gun and just took
Wow.
off.
Oh, this is
So-
before you were a kid. Oh, it was
No,
while you
no,
were alive.
I was definitely alive, and
Oh
probably
my
shouldn't be told
God.
these stories.
I feel like that generation did tell us stories they weren't supposed to.
Oh
Yeah.
I definitely got
100%.
told things that I was like, wait. And now looking back, I'm like, what? You told an 8-year-old what? That's crazy.
Well, I used to hang with my dad and his buddies while they drank. Like so, like
Yeah, that's
one
wild.
of my first little hustles was we would go to my dad's buddy Jeff's house, and it was in the country, and he would have these big, huge bonfires with kegs, and I would get paid like $1 to run beers for people.
Nice.
So like I would run the red Solo cups back and forth all over the place, and like people would
And it was fun, I bet.
I would walk out with like $30. I thought I was
Oh
rich.
my God, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little unbeknownst to me, it's like it was over like 5 hours, and I'm
Yeah.
like sweating. I'm like a fat kid just trying to make $1, you know.
I used to sell necklaces to people in our house that were drinking.
What
And
kind
I
of
knew
necklaces?
beaded necklaces that I made myself, and I would sell them to all my brother's friends. My brothers are like 9 to 11 years older than me, and they would buy them so that I would leave them alone. Like, that was the deal. Like, you buy this necklace, and I won't come back down here. And they'd be like, how much? I'd be like, $15.
See, we
Not
were just
cheap
talking
as
about
shit.
this before. We were
Hilarious.
talking about this before the pod started. That is exactly how you have to handle bookers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna email you until you either tell me no or book me.
Yep.
You've
Dating,
never been on a
social
dating
media.
app.
You've never
I've
been on
never.
a dating app.
And I gave it up in 2016 because like I had met someone on Tinder and they smashed my heart to bits. And so I'm like, beans on this noise, I'm done.
So you blame the device, not the person?
Well, no, she sucked. But
Okay.
but I was like, I found myself, I do a bit about it, but like I found myself just on it, trying to like fix the hurt. And that's not fair to nobody. So it's like I had enough wherewithal to like be like, I'm good. And I'm a pretty social person anyway, so I have no problem. Like I know how to ask for a girl's number without being a creep piece of shit.
That's
They're
because of the
also-
generation we're from.
Yeah. They're
And
also saying that you have such a higher chance of getting a number when you ask them in person. Because especially since it doesn't happen a lot anymore, it's a lot of girls are just like, they see it more as like,
That's a brave man.
yes.
That's the new he's brave. He's so brave. He asked for my number in person.
But
it's fair.
Make eye contact
It's
with
fair.
Yeah, but I get always weird because like I feel like I have a certain look where either girls are into it or they're totally not.
You need to go to the When We Were Young festival. and
Yeah,
just
see, that's what I'm
you
saying,
need to-
stuff like
you
that.
Need to pick up those elder emo chicks that are like freshly divorced. But
Well, what are you into? Do you like, I guess that matters too, right? Does it matter?
I'm into girls that are into me.
Yeah, it's like,
thing.
what's your type? Girls that like me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
That's a
into me,
good-
I can mold around that. You know what I'm saying?
We got snorts over
Classic.
here. Yeah. Yeah, you do not want to be on the internet dating scene. It's a gross pit. But
I would
human-
just post clips. I'd be like,
That's
Oh,
so
well,
fun.
when
here's
I
my
first
new
started,
comedy clip.
that's all I would use internet dating for was like I'm doing comedy over at the local
Come to
club.
my show.
Yeah. Our first date is gonna be you watch me do stand up.
I have heard girls put that in their bio, like come check me out, and I have seen girls sit their guys that they come at like different areas of the
Do
club.
you message them
So
and
more
be like,
than
I'm
one?
funnier than you? Or are you one of those?
Oh me? Oh no!
You
no,
should
no.
challenge them to a roast battle. Be like, our first date should be at the comedy store.
I will not. I won't date comedians or anyone. I try to go the opposite. Like I've dated creatives before. It's a little too. It's like I like
Too much pour.
Yes, too much pour. Yeah, my last girlfriend was a doctor, and it was very fun.
Yeah.
But no, it's like having someone with like
What
a
did
real
you do to
job,
ruin that?
and then doing like it's like a good yin and yang kind of thing. Because like one person's got is such a real serious job, yours is kind of so not sometimes. But then when you it's a good balance. Sometimes if both people are living in a little, it's like I don't know, it feels a little too much one way or the other.
Someone's got to be grounded.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like if they're both kind of, and someone's just got to be responsible with like someone's got to
My
do.
husband and I think are very similar.
Really?
Yeah, I think we're both responsible 5-year-olds.
Well, but you got is he a creative too? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because you yeah,
A little bit.
A little bit
Oh well.
creative.
Oh well. It's okay.
Bulky but approachable.
He's the bulk. No, he's not. He's great. Okay. So, how many times did you get beaten up? Why did they beat you up? Why were you the geek?
I wasn't really the geek. I was just like the weird kid. Like
But what made them like? What did they like? Because don't they say something before they hit you? Like I don't know.
Nah, I mean, a lot of the times, like I was a fat kid growing up, so that
Okay.
was all you needed to be. Was
Uh-huh.
fat,
No, 100%. It was
you know?
something
So,
different.
And I would clap back. I mean, to use a
That's
current
good.
terminology. So it's like I was not about to take it, like just like verbal abuse and shit. So I would say other things back, and I think especially with the garage fight, it was I said some stuff back, and that like I probably talked about his mother or whatever.
Ah.
Yeah,
What
makes,
you talk about mama?
You say
So-
your mama.
And it gets deeper, yeah.
Mama thinks it's the only thing that gets me.
Yeah, when I was in college, like we were at this keg party, and like back in the day, I used to be able to like chug beers real fast. Like, remember when the Man Show had its first iteration?
Yeah, the dude that would
That
smash
dude with
him.
the fox, I could do that.
No way.
That's
100%. So like I could take a beer bong down in like 1/1000 before you hit 2.
That's
it was
cool.
gone.
That's a flex.
So there was like a thing where, well, alcoholism. There was like a thing where it's like if you could do the beer bong the fastest, you would run the keg. Like it was just kind of like a, like a college-y kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I whooped the shit out of this dude who's just this big football player from St. Xavier, which was like the private like Catholic college in Chicago. And like me and my roommate Sean, we went to go out to the van to go smoke weed. And like passed out in the van, woke up, we're like, oh crap, we gotta go back to this party. So we're going back into the party, and those dudes were coming out of the party with a couple chicks, and I was just hammered. I'm like, have a good night, guys, drive safe. And the girls were like, what are you talking shit about us? And I'm like, what are you dumb? Like, all I said was like, have a good night, drive safe. And they're like, oh, he's talking shit, blah, 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 blah. So these guys circle me up, and I'm like, guys, like, this is kind of crazy. And then they like just start jumping me.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
my roommate Sean, he's a 4th-degree black belt, so he grabs one of them and puts him in a fish hook.
Ugh.
And he screams over the top of his shoulder, I'm gonna rip your friend's face off his fucking body if you don't leave my buddy alone. And they saw the blood start coming down the dude's face, and they left. And my right orbital was cracked. And I got the scar right here from it. It was just like my eye was swollen shut, because it's like when you're getting jumped by 6 people.
Yeah,
the
you can't
best-
do. Yeah.
you basically like,
I wouldn't know what to do.
well,
I'd kick. That's the only part of my body that's
yeah,
strong.
You're
Lower
dancer.
half. Yeah, that's
You're
where
just-
lead with your strengths.
Yeah.
What did you get your degree in?
English literature, so I was a writer.
Definitely gonna pass this test.
Yeah, you're gonna kill
Oh,
it.
is it
You're gonna
words?
crush it.
I have no
I don't know. We
idea.
can't read
We're
them
not
half
sure.
the
It's
time.
just
We can't read.
Was it 206 or 204 bones in the body we learned last time?
206 because it's Seattle.
Yep. That's what we know now.
gotta connect it to other
See, we
things.
know stuff. This is our school, by the way.
Yeah,
We're starting this
Well,
podcast
did
just
you
so
guys-
we
you-
can
yeah,
learn.
I'm like, were either of you homeschooled or
No.
public schooled?
Public
No,
school.
I didn't even go to school that often.
She was a dancer.
I never
So
went to
she's-
school on a Wednesday. We established that. And then I would take home tests because I'd be on tour. And then I would just not really do it or use my textbook with it. Like,
Yeah, the
I
answers are in the back of the book. You're like,
just cheated. Yeah. It's, I mean, I got here.
Yeah, we're all here.
we're all in the same spot.
I
in
got
a
here.
podcast
That's one of the things
studio
that it's
in
like-
Hollywood.
Do you guys ever have, this is the dumbest thing, I get nightmares sometimes that I didn't graduate high school, and I wake up like in a little bit of a panic, and then I'm like, oh my God, wait, I did graduate. And then I get another like, oh my God, it doesn't matter. Like that's like this double, but I get those like a couple times a
Panics.
year where it's just like, oh, I didn't graduate. And you're
I've
just
thought
like,
about
what?
going to college, and then I'm like, I'd have to find that paperwork, and I don't even know how to do that. Like, I guess
No.
I can't go to college. I don't know how to find degrees.
I mean, taxes are hard enough. That like
I
proves
like
to
doing
me.
taxes.
Really?
I do.
I do them like every 2 years, and I just apologize to my accountant. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. He's
I
like,
do them myself.
I always try,
love
and
it.
they deny them.
Oh.
Whenever I do them myself, they're like, you need to do more.
I don't want to do it myself. Like
My father-in-law's a tax guy, and I was like, can I please do these? Like, you can check it. I like doing it.
That's huge.
It's gross.
It's easy. It's just, I like numbers.
I like the business side of things where I know how to collect the data over the year, and then I go, here you go, and then I pay you the fee. I'm like, you do this.
That's what they wish they taught us in school.
Business math. I took that. I was very good at that.
Did you really?
Yeah,
What do you
business
mean,
math.
like?
Do you wake up in a cold sweat like taxes?
You know what? All of my dreams,
it's
if I'm going to
April.
tell you the truth, my dreams are lame, and they're always a checklist of what I have to do the next day. And then depending on the dream, I get really mad when I wake up the
rather
next
not
morning.
dream.
It's exactly. I have the worst dreams because it's literally like, oh no, I dreamt about doing the dishes, and now I go downstairs and the dishes aren't done, and now I feel like I'm doing them twice.
These are the worst dreams
It
I've ever
sucks.
heard. This
Yeah.
is like worse than nightmares.
My
like, at least
dreams
with nightmares, it's like adrenaline.
Are the most checklisty, like, do this, you did this. It's a very, like, if the afterlife is your dreams, boy, is mine going to be boring. But my
It's
life
just-
is really
it's just like
exciting. My life
squeaky
is exciting.
Whiteboard sounds like.
Yeah. I think that my dreams are like to level out my day life
Mm-hmm.
because everything's so, like, crazy. And then it's like, oh, nice. You can just chill, talk about laundry.
Did you play music since you were into music growing up?
I did. I played guitar up
Cool.
until college.
So all throughout high school and middle school were you playing too? Like, when did you start? What age?
6th grade, I believe.
Okay, so
'Cause
like
everybody in the family got to pick an instrument. So, like, as far as like my dad got to play the organ, my mom was the piano. I think
that's
my brother
cool.
selected drums. I was a guitar. So
Nice.
Did
You guys play
have a
together?
band?
no.
So I like the
We were just
what
so
your dad
loud.
played because that's the one with all the little
the
knobs
pull
and the
organ,
thingies.
yeah.
We had one of those. I didn't know how to use
Oh,
it.
for real?
Yeah, so it's like a piano that has little pumpers. It's like
Yep.
great core, and then it has these little pulley buttons. It's just fun. It looks
didn't
like
know about the pull
you're.
things.
Yeah, I don't know what they do. We had it changes the tune.
My dad would play the accordion.
That's cool
Oh.
too.
He was good.
That's cool.
Was he in like a polka band? 'Cause that
No,
would've
just
been
old
fun.
Italian man.
Oh, so just playing like
Just playing
Sad-
Italian.
sad
Yeah.
meatball music.
Banana. Yeah, he was good, man.
beepity bobbity boobity boobity.
Yeah, and we'd watch it, and it's like it says all those buttons, little dots, and they all do. It's like it blew my mind.
That's cool.
And I remember, but yeah, we still have it, but it's like broken as fuck. Like you have to like really take care of those
I'm
things.
just really picturing like the old cartoon where it's just a single accordion.
Oh, just
No,
like
it was like a really fancy one with
Did
like.
he have a monkey on his shoulder that would come and get the change from everybody?
I think he made us do that. I was the monkey that was walking around.
That's fair.
But no, that's cool. But yeah, so your family was a musical family.
Well, they always just encourage, try it, you know.
Okay.
So like, you know, I played baseball. And I played baseball up until I was 18. Even when I stopped making the high school team, I just liked playing. But yeah, guitar was kind of like my refuge. Like, you know, there came a certain point where like in high school and stuff, and like everybody clicks up and has friend groups and stuff. And then I would just come home every day and play guitar for 6 to 7 hours a night. And then just like, I'm just going to get good at this.
Guitar or I'm sorry, acoustic or electric?
Electric.
Okay. What kind of guitar?
It was a 1993 Gibson SG, which I
Hell
would later
yeah.
pawn to go to a music festival.
Ooh, goddamn! All right, so Gibson SG, that's a nice guitar. So, what did you use all the money for the festival
Oh,
ticket?
yeah.
Oh, so what
Festival.
festival was it?
It was a small Grateful Dead fest in Nelson Ledges, Ohio, called I think it was just like Grateful Fest. But
Was it
like-
worth it?
Oh, it was a lot of fun, but it wasn't worth.
I was gonna say that's a Gibson SG, dog.
Right.
That's like a
Yeah, it was enough money.
It's your passion
to
versus.
yeah, well, at that point, I was just into so much
Other-
drinking and drugging, like it didn't matter.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, it was like 3 or 4 nights of Dark Star Orchestra, which they specialize in covering certain shows that
Yeah.
the Grateful Dead play. And then Keller Williams, who is a fantastic musician, Rusted Root, talk about a callback, Rusted Root played, and a couple other hippy-dippy jam bands. It was like in a quarry. you
okay.
know,
So
in-
the whole thing was just
in
like a
Eastern Ohio. Yeah, it was a
Very
lot of fun.
cool.
It was like a 3 or 4 day thing.
Okay,
And
hell yeah.
I could just never get it together again enough to re-buy my guitar back.
When
So-
did you cook? Did you ever cook? Because you have a hot sauce, right? So
sure
did
do.
you do cooking as a kid? Like, how did that come about?
My father was a good cook,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom's a good cook, but my father was a good cook, and he would just kind of experiment and make things. And like I remember, we would do chili, and he would just be like, "I'm throwing this. This sounds good." And he always
My mom
claimed-
did that with punch, but it was alcohol, and I loved it.
Isn't that called like
My
what's it
mom
called?
cooked. It was a cauldron full of booze.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh man, New Year's and Christmas. Big old bowl of who knows what's in it, but
Big
you
old bowl of
Yeah.
hooch.
everything. There's always a cherry at the bottom. There's fruit in it.
Just bobbing.
It was our fruit salads, but
just one cherry.
Right, yeah, just the one that soaks up all the alcohol at the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
it counts as a fruit.
um, so I just I'm a DIY kind of person.
Cool.
My father was too. He could fix anything. So that's kind of how I operate. Like
But how did you get into making
Hot
like
sauce?
Yeah,
it was accidental.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Central Illinois at the time, and I had gotten sober in 2012. So I was doing comedy for about 3 years, and there was a farmer's market, and I grew a ghost pepper plant on my porch, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I was like, because they're too hot to just eat.
Yeah, those are the Is
And
that like the hottest pepper
It-
or top?
Well,
one of the top?
it's up there. It's
Yeah.
like
they
What's the
rank 'em?
Scoville rating?
I mean, I know
Oh,
they
yeah.
rank them, but
Yeah,
like,
there's like a whole-
who's the
it's a-
person who decides?
It's it's called the Scoville.
Yeah, so
thing,
Scoville
and they
But
scale.
have-
somebody
yeah.
had to try it to be like, no.
Oh, who's the person that does
Yeah.
it?
The Guinness Book of World Records ranks them now.
Okay.
So the Carolina Reaper, which is what I make my hot sauce with,
Woof.
was the former hottest pepper in the world, and I think the current one is like Pepper X, which is made by the same dude. His name's Smokin' Ed.
Shout out.
And yeah, so I think the criteria of them is they have to like maintain through a couple farm cycles, you know, because you could just make a genetically modified pepper, but if it doesn't survive, it doesn't count.
That's good.
Gotcha. That's
So
wild.
so I grew this thing on my porch, and I was like, you can't just eat these. So I was like, I'm going to teach myself how to make hot sauce. So I started watching YouTube videos and
No
reading
fucking
recipes.
way.
And
Yeah,
I just went
YouTube?
to the store and I was like, I like this, I like that.
No fucking way. Are you serious?
Uh-huh.
So you just grew your own pepper, then watched YouTube, and then made a hot sauce?
And now he sells them.
Yeah.
He
Dude,
sells them all the time. That's his merch that shows.
That's
That's his merch.
hotsauce.com, everybody. I'll sell these everywhere. Like,
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I always ask permission, but so it's been about 10 or 11 years.
Oh shit, for real? Good for you. Hotsauce.com, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I've been making and selling hot sauce for 10 or 11 years now, and it is literally the difference between me being only a stand-up comic and not.
Wow.
As I have a tremendous merch. But, you know, the only variation of the recipe that's been over the years is I've just upgraded my equipment, you know, because I started with the ghost pepper, and it just, the mixture I made, people thought it was tasty, but I didn't think it was hot enough for me. So then
How much of the ghost pepper do you? Because that's a hot pepper. Like, do you use the full like how do you know if it's too hot?
He's not going to tell you secrets.
Yeah, right.
Then people are going to make it. Do you still grow the peppers?
I don't have time, so I order mash from
Okay.
a company. But, you know, it's orange, pear, apple cider vinegar, Roma tomato, sweet onion, garlic, olive oil, sea salt, and then I use the Carolina Reaper. So I use a few dollops, let's say, of
Okay.
the actual pepper mash because I want it to be a tasty hot sauce with a good burn to it.
Yeah.
And I say this in the merch pitch, but most people will make you a hot sauce that'll burn your life. And I want you to use it and buy more.
Yeah,
So like
that-
it
yeah.
gets used, and then you look at the side of the bottle and you're like, oh yeah, Yates comedy.
You should put a QR code on it so they can rebuy it.
Oh, I mean the website's there, everything.
Fair.
I
But
do like
people don't
the-
read.
I remember when QR codes were dumb, and then
Yeah.
the pandemic happened, and now we were force
Yeah.
fucked to
Yeah.
use them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny how many things like Zoom was very lame. Like nobody, I remember having anything Zoom, and then out of nowhere, who would have thought if you had some money in that
I
damn
found out last
company?
night in crowd work, this crowd work show that I did, that somebody in the audience broke up with somebody over Zoom. I thought that
Over
was-
Zoom?
Because it was COVID. And I was like, well, you could have probably, met at a
That's
park
so
or something.
funny.
That's so messed up. Can you just accept my link so I can break up with you?
If you would have broke up with me during the pandemic, I would just coughed in your mouth and just hoped it worked.
Yeah, just like, can you open this link? That's
How,
so messed
how
up.
was your dating in high school or
Like,
in middle school at all? Like, were you like a girlfriend?
Middle school.
Well, I had a girlfriend in middle
Okay.
school.
yeah, I mean, I had a couple gals, but it never worked out well for me. I was like the too nice guy, probably a little too eager.
Friend zone.
See, that was not the thing for like. It was just like I would either get cheated on or like I remember I got invited to a Valentine's dance. I was like a freshman in high school, and her name was Meg, and she like left mid dance to hang with another dude.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's just I've had a broken picker my entire life.
Aw.
So I'm fine. Like I've done enough therapy and I take care
I
of
mean, you're
myself.
6'3". Girls love that now. Who got the last
Oh,
laugh?
I mean that's the thing now. Like I was.
Did you go back to your high school reunion?
Oh, They,
Were you like,
this is before I knew better. They coaxed me into doing stand up.
No
At the 10-year
way.
reunion. Yeah, and so I did it, and I did well, but it was like I wasn't even good at stand up yet. And I had a bunch of these bro dudes that were like, "Oh, dude, you're living my dream." I'm like, "Well, you could leave your family and do open mics at bars. It's like it's
Anyone
not,
can do it. It's just
Yeah.
whether or not you can handle it.
right." And
That's
I think
crazy.
all that stuff had like prepared me for the life I live with comedy and entertainment. Like I don't care anymore. Like it took a lot. Like I used to care, but like my give a fuck tank is so empty. Like if I reach out to someone for a spot and they like leave me on red like twice, I just don't reach out anymore. Like I might still come to the show and support and say, hey, I messaged you.
Yeah.
Like I'm completely copacetic with that. But like if I've reached out to you and you don't book me, like I don't need you to do your show. I don't care.
Right.
Because there is no show, there's no club that I am not good enough to do. And that took a lot of time and introspection to like just be like, I'm good at this job, and I do have a theory that like the funniest comics have self-doubt, but the people who think they're God's gift to stand up are always dog shit.
Oh yeah.
Always dog shit.
Yeah.
You know, and like I've been making I've been doing stand up for 13 years, and the last 5 of the 13 I've made my living only through stand up. I mean, I do other stuff, like I do Punch Up, I write for a friend's YouTube show, I sell a lot of hot sauce. I've got an album up on Sirius XM radio, so it's like I do a lot of the stuff, but I'm only a comic for the time being.
Yeah.
That's great.
So did you have like supportive, like good parents growing up, or like were they super like around and helpful, or were they just kind of doing their own, like how was that?
Well, they both were full-time workers,
Okay.
right? So growing up, my father was always in the rail yard. So in the train yard in Chicago never stopped. So he would put in 80 hours a week.
Okay.
And then when I got old enough, then he was more available for like to help coach my brother's baseball and stuff like that. So, but they always loved, especially like after I got sober and I decided to do stand-up, because I started stand-up in 2011, got sober in 2012. I started stand-up as a way to like curb the drinking, which I know sounds counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's wild.
But the exhilaration from the act of stand-up was an ample replacement. Because remember when you first start drinking,
and
you're like,
all
this is great, we're going to get in trouble. And I got the same thing from stand-up.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
yeah.
the only time I was ever nervous to get on stage was like after I got out of rehab, and I went to the comedy club, and the owner was like, "Hey, you know, I'm so glad you're out." Like, I'm like, "Thanks for visiting me. It was really nice of you." I just had lunch with him not too long ago, but he's like, "You want to do a set?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And it just sunk in that I'd never done stand up sober. Because I started stand up as a way to curb the drinking, but I was still getting high.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I used to
yeah.
have a motto that like there's more fun things to do than alcohol.
Yeah.
Like and like Doug Benson was just getting popular, and like I was always a Mitch Hedberg fan. So I'm like, I could be just the stoner comic. Like I got some of my first guest spots on the weekend selling quarter ounces of weed to the headliners.
That's what I gotta do.
So did you, when you went to rehab and you got out, did you quit smoking weed? Were you completely sober?
Oh yeah, I've been completely sober since April 23rd, 2012.
Cool,
Oh shit,
congrats.
dude! Good for you, man.
Yeah.
When
Cap-
people say sober out here, sometimes they're like, "Well, I smoke weed and
I'm,
do mushrooms."
I'm
Yeah.
actually sober.
Like
I am
real sober.
I am
Yeah.
feel all the feelings sober. Like I don't care. Like harm reduction, I would rather you smoke jazz cabbage than shoot cocaine.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel
Right.
that.
And if you're like, you can't shoot cocaine, they're called speedballs. But like it's not sober. Like
yeah,
to me,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't care.
No, I feel. I don't know why
like
people
you can
don't
call
say,
whatever
yeah.
you want to
I
call
really
it, but
think
I
you
think it's
did
a very
that. I
dangerous
agree with
thing
that.
for people who actually do have like I don't care. Do
Yeah.
whatever you want. Like I don't get bonus chips for recruitment. Like helping alcoholics is fucking
Can you
awful,
imagine if they made commission?
right? Oh, well, some people act like that around me. Like when they find out I'm sober, they're like, "Oh, well, you know, I only drink like 4 days a week sometimes, and then like I've only get blackout drunk like 7 times." I'm like, people who don't have problems don't count like that. But I don't
I think
care.
you said that to me on a mic.
Well, people
Probably.
people try
I
to
was like,
relate.
I probably don't drink that much, but one all the time.
Yeah, that's all right.
My best memory is my mom's cauldron of booze.
Yes, my
Well, I remember-
favorite.
I realized how bad different people, like I smoke weed like all day, every day. And I remember when I was talking to my dad, he was kind of like figuring out that I smoke a lot. And he's like, "So how much do you smoke?" And I was like, "I don't know, like 3 times a week." And he was just like, "Ugh." And when he, like the reaction he had, I was like, "Bro, I smoked 3 times before this meeting today, bro." Like I am, so like people, when I tell my friends, like I wake up within an hour, I'm smoking weed. And before bed, within an hour of being asleep,
But
I'm
you're
smoking weed.
comfortable with who you are all day long, right?
Yeah, but I also don't do anything else really. Like, but I've been
Oh,
smoking
you-
weed since I was 14. I'm 37.
What are
Yeah,
you-
it would
what are
be
you
a
running
huge
from?
withdrawal if you.
Yeah,
What are you running from?
yeah. I know, probably something. You know, it's funny. Every time I do, I don't know if this is something with you. Every time I do try to really quit smoking, I love
You talking
the
cigs or weed?
weed. I don't really smoke cigarettes. The connection with music is hard to. So I'll play acoustic guitar mostly, but like when I play my guitar and sometimes I smoke a little bit, I feel like there's just this like this wave. And I know it's just a silly thing, but like I don't know. It's like meditating kind of. I know you can probably get there other ways, but there's something about a couple
So
hits.
you like playing sober, or you like playing with a few hits?
I'm like, if I'm really high, sometimes I'll just zone out a little too much. But when if I smoke a little bit, I do feel like I just find this wave that I'm not thinking too much about how I'm playing. 'Cause when you think about what your hands are doing, you start fucking up. It's like I get to like just sing the song rather than think about what I'm doing. It's like I know there's probably other ways. But that's the one thing I noticed when I did quit smoking weed a couple times. It was playing music. I was like, oh man, I do miss that little, the weed and music has a beautiful little dance they do, I think. I don't know.
Well, you heard it from him. He does not have a problem with marijuana. I personally don't care when anybody does. Like, I mean, I used to sell a lot of
He doesn't
weed.
care.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel you. I mean, I can see your shirt.
I just
it
know
says
people.
you're
I
selling.
mean, yeah, I've got a fish with Creed in the middle of it.
Oh, that's what it said.
I wear a lot of Fish is one of my favorite bands.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And so the connection with me, I've seen Fish probably 40 times completely
Jeez.
sober.
That's cool.
And it's just like I have a community of people that I mess with, and like now it's starting to bleed into the stand-up where like my most successful content is making fun of the jam band community. But to your point, like I met an old deadhead when I first got sober. His name's Magoo, and he was one of the original Wharf Rats, and he's got like one milky eye. His real name's Doug, but like I was talking to him at like a conference. I was like, Magoo, like I'm cool with not drinking. I'm okay even not smoking weed anymore. But I'm like, I still would like to eat acid every once in a while and eat mushrooms. He's like, I completely understand. He's like, I felt that way too. And he was one of the original clean and sober Grateful Dead heads. Mm-hmm. So like in the 80s, they started this group of sober fans that followed the band around the country and supported each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're called the Wharf Rats. So, and he told me, he goes, David, I've meditated to places that drugs could never take me to. And that's the thing. It's, drugs and alcohol are the microwave to get to a place of altered state of consciousness. But if you want long-lasting consciousness shift, it's got to be that crockpot life. It's got to be that slow practice. And like with anything like meditation or spiritual endeavors, like you're not going to be great at it right away. Like just like you can't go into the gym and bench press 300 pounds right away. So sometimes it might be hard to sit for 3 minutes, and that's okay. And so that like I had to come to terms with like I don't like feeling feelings, and that's why I do it. And my brain runs 1,000 miles an hour. So the same thing that makes me very good on stage in the moment, very quick. I need to come down and try your crowd work show. I don't particularly enjoy doing crowd work. I am good at it. It's just like I just think it's been so overdone by people that like the audience would rather yell things at me than let me do my jokes. And so
I agree with that. I think that people watching clips has changed the audience to thinking they're it's supposed to be an actual conversation.
yeah,
and then there are some audiences who want no crowd work. They're like, we came here to watch you do your shit.
Give me them all day long.
Those are just two different audiences.
Crowd work was always a device to use when the audience is not good.
Exactly, or when you need to extend time.
Right. Yeah. Like if you told the booker you got 30 and you got a hot 12, guess what? You're doing crowd work.
Or if someone's not there yet and you have to like pull time.
Or
that kind of stuff.
If you're featuring for someone and you get like the keep going.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like I had to get to a place within myself where like I didn't need to not feel anymore. And on stage I'm completely like I'm free. Like my father passing in 2019 ripped me apart, and then my buddy got famous on America's Got Talent, and then we were going gangbusters, and then we got kicked in the junk by a pandemic, and then the stuff started to open up again, and it's like I remember like we started to work again, and like I was like testing like constantly to do these 50-seat sold in a 300-seat room venues. And like I was like, hey, if you feel safe enough to come out, blah, 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 I got my negative COVID test. We're going to be here. It's mass, And people were like dragging me on Twitter, like comics.
Oh, yeah. People were pissed.
And I'm just like, I'm not like in the park doing open mic right now. I'm not doing it underground. Like
I did all of the things.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I did.
Nowadays it doesn't matter.
I just didn't post it because I didn't want to get
well,
yelled
I
at.
stopped. I
was just like, I'm not telling you.
Well, I was working.
Because I did shows. I needed to make money. I don't know
I was
how else you were
working clubs.
making money. Yeah, so
I
it's
was
like
working
the
clubs.
clubs that had
Me
the
too.
rules and they followed the guidelines.
And that was the thing. I was like,
I did one where I was behind glass. This was in San Diego. The stage was empty, but like the rule was you could be off stage. So it was like off stage but behind glass, and it was like the weirdest. It felt like strip club or something weird.
It reminds me of
it was such a weird. And then you see your own reflection in the glass while you're telling a joke, and I was like, I don't like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, we were doing a couple club chains, and when people were getting mad at me, and like, look, like if you think I'm out there raw dogging this thing, you don't know me. And you know who gets to work when I work? The bartender, the ticket booth person, the staff. So it's like, I'm just trying to do the best I can with this. However, it was true freedom to not care about having to post where you're at or just, be able to do comedy. So when things started opening back up again, I was already sharp from still working. So I stopped caring like that. All the pain that has ever, crossed my path has just made me better at staying out of the results business of stand-up comedy. Like I'm just trying to engage with feeding myself with the things I make. I want inner peace, and I want to do well for every audience. I don't need to do well anymore. Like I know 90% of the time, because I'm not one of those people that blames the crowd, but 90% of the time it's on me. But then there is that sliver, that 5%, 10% where it is just a dog shit audience. But it's like I've got a limited amount of time to make the correct decision. And to the baseball analogy, like my batting average is up. But like what I was talking about, reaching out to people earlier, like if you think me trying to reach out for a spot to your show, it makes you think less of me or me asking for an opportunity.
I ask all the time.
But I'm just saying, like, people treat you like you shouldn't even be asking.
No, how else are you going to get on a show? You have to ask. You should ask.
I remember there was
100% ask. The worst case scenario, they say, no, you're not on the show. Guess what? You're already not on the show.
Yeah.
There's no difference. Just don't be annoying. Don't ask them every day.
Who booked a show at the club here in town, one of the clubs, and I hit them up, and they were like, oh, no, don't have anything. And I followed up the question. I'm like, oh, cool. Like if, when do you get your dates? I don't want to be annoying, but I'll set a reminder. He goes, well, if you could tell the booker that to get off my case from selling out every time. And I'm like, how is that my problem? Like, because you're a bad producer, you're going to like lash out at me? Like, it's just dog shit, So it's like, I'm a big believer in just doing my own thing. I book my own stuff, I'm on the road.
Well, what if we try to get you another full A's like 4th grade?
Maybe you can get more than cable. Get
Oh,
internet too.
what?
The bundle. All right, let me set up over.
So we're going to switch over to this. All right. What grade are we taking?
So this looks like
4th grade.
Sometimes it is 4th grade. Sometimes it's really... We've been doing green card tests sometimes too because I'm thinking about getting my citizenship. So we've been doing American history, and boy, have I learned some things.
I was going to say.
I did not know.
Look at it this way. You gun to everybody's head in America, ask them to name all the provinces. They can't do it.
Oh, 100. Yeah, that's what we were talking about because there was like all these things, and I was like, do you know who this person is? And they're like, no. Yeah, it's fine.
We know Jim Carrey, Mike Myers.
Do you know how many people are like, Jim Carrey's Canadian? that just happened somewhere.
Okay, so number 1 is how many continents are there? 7, 5,
or an ad.
Or where the crawdads
A mystery ad. What is this summer party? Gray Men. Oh, we must have been talking about that.
Does it go? Wait, I click this. Oh, I knew it. I knew I was going to do that.
That's okay. We
There
know
we
it's
go.
not 196.
Okay. How many continents are there? 7, 5, or 196?
7.
7.
Thumbs up.
Woo,
There are
woo,
7
again,
continents. Okay. Let's see what this next guy is.
Which is the biggest ocean?
Which is the biggest ocean? We got
It's a pretty
Atlantic
ocean picture.
It's a very pretty ocean picture. Oh, and what ocean that is. Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Ocean.
Can I just tell you a quick story before we answer this?
Yeah.
So I was in the Indian Ocean, and I'm petrified of fish, like petrified of little fish.
Yeah.
But the lady who took us out, we went to go see those starfish or something. I forget what kind of fish.
Manta
They're-
ray?
Yeah. We went to swim with the manta rays.
I like how you just start.
I just know because that's like a thing you have to do.
Rays.
You have to do this if they come near you because you're not allowed to touch them. It's some endangered things. You have to do like a starfish move.
Oh, wow.
So like we're swimming. I first of all never swam in an ocean in the middle of it. Like what? This is all crazy to me.
That is
and then I had
wild.
my full goggles set on. I put my eyes under the thing, and they're like, the lady was like, "There's no fish out there. Whatever. Don't be worried." And put my face under it. Thousands of tiny little fish. She thought that I was worried about fish. I was like, "Oh!" I screamed underwater, which no one heard and was a waste. What a scary little thing. Beautiful trip. I recommend Maldives.
What ocean was it?
I don't know. We were in the
Indian-
Maldives, and then it
Indian
was the
Ocean.
Indian
Indian
Ocean.
Ocean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Indian.
I'm gonna
Ocean.
guess it's that one too because it was real big when I was in it.
Ooh, it's the Pacific.
Oh fuck!
It is the Pacific Ocean. So
wow.
we're starting
it's
off
my
1
fault.
for 2.
It's okay.
All right.
I'll
I guess
remember. Wait,
I
it
feel
was
like
Pacific.
I feel like I was influenced by Kim's
It was
story.
my story because there's so many
was.
fish.
It very
Never
very
trust
much
the girl
was.
who didn't go to school.
Fair.
Okay, the goat climbed up the tree.
I love this picture.
It's fantastic. The goat climbed up the tree. The word goat is a noun, adjective, or adverb.
Oh, that's the sentence. The picture's really throwing me off.
Yeah. So it's just kind of simpler than the picture.
The
The
goat?
goat climbed up. So the goat isn't it a person, place, or thing? Noun.
I know you speak 2 languages, Canadian and
And Canadian. My whole thing is that if I took this test when I was in school, it would have taken me 20 minutes to answer it because I'm just looking at the cat, the not
The
even
goats?
cows, the goats.
The
I
cows.
don't even know what animal that is. I'm just like, whoa, how'd they get up there? That's all I'm doing.
some real weird apples.
How are those trees not bending? Like I'm spending all of my time looking at that. Do you know the answer?
Pretty sure.
What do you think it is? I have no idea.
I'm thinking it's a noun.
Noun is a person, place, or thing. Adjective is an action word, right? And adverb, I don't remember, but it's
Is it
something that something
descriptor?
describes the verb, right? But I never remember what a verb
I
is.
think you're right. Yeah, but exactly. I always get the different an adjective and a verb
It
confused.
should be a noun unless they.
I would believe.
Yeah. Let's go
Noun?
noun.
Yeah,
Bong bong.
because
all right.
adjective would be climbed.
Yeah, I
Right.
think
It's something
so.
that the noun does.
We're doing great. We're doing great. I'm happy with this.
We're 2 for 3 so far. Okay. Which is the largest planet in the solar system? Is it Saturn, Jupiter, or Earth?
I think it's Jupiter.
Yeah.
I think it is Jupiter as well.
Girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Boys go to Mars to eat Mars bars. That's just proving that we're stupid. That was on purpose. That was just me fun. Oh, a lot of ads today.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is a terrible
okay.
site for.
We found
Yeah,
out that this site, if you're taking your kids to it and they have ADHD, not the site to
gonna
teach
learn
them
anything.
stuff. I'm having a hard time with goats in the tree still.
Okay, what is 11 times 12? 132, 144, or 121?
144.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys got that quick.
It's
Old-
the cheat
old
where you
num-
go
old number
11.
girl over
11
here.
is very easy.
What do you
I do
mean?
taxes for
Because you
fun
just
in my
move
sleep.
anything times 11, you do the same number over here and then you add the middle. That's how I do it.
What?
Okay,
kinda-
so
what
if
kinda
anything is timed
backwood-
11, what?
What province are you from?
Ontario. Well, really not, but I lived there most of my life.
So wait,
Born
if
in
you,
Alberta, though.
Something no.
So say it's 11 times 4.
Oh, well then it's 44. That's
Okay,
easy.
sorry. Say
Double.
11
It's got to be
times
more
20,
than
25.
Okay, so then you do 25 and then 25, so that's 275. I think that's right. Let me check.
Wait, what?
Let me see. I could be wrong. Hold on.
I don't know. This is wild. I
I
thought,
just do 11 times the number 12.
Yeah, it was 275. I was right.
I just do this 12 times.
How do you get there?
I just did it. So if it's so
25.
give me another number like
Okay,
higher
30.
than 10. 30, right? So you take your 30, right?
Yeah.
And add a 0 at the end. So now it's
it's
300.
300.
And then you take your other 30 and it's just 30 and then you add it together.
So it's 300 on top of just 30, so it's 330.
And so 25 is 250 plus 25,
Oh, you
which
add
is
a 0
275.
to the first, and then you
The
add.
whole audience is just like,
No, but it's a great
That's
cheat code.
genius.
It's a great cheat code.
That's genius.
Yeah.
It's only for 11.
Yeah.
And it has to be over what number?
she's like,
It's,
I
well,
know
anything under
11.
10 is just the same
you
number
can,
twice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're
Wait
right.
until I teach you the 9 times tables, then you use your fingers.
Oh, wait. It was 132.
Well, no, that's right. 11, 11, 11, and then you add. That's right.
Wait. 11 times 12, so that means it's 120
130. That's right.
plus
I'm a
11.
word-
Oh, yeah,
I'm a
So then it's
132.
12 plus 12. It's the thing that I was saying. I just didn't do the adding part.
All right.
Yeah. But that is right.
12 and 12 is 144.
Correct. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Which of these countries is not in Europe? Yemen, Albania, and Spain.
Okay.
Damn. Okay, I know Spain, but Yemen or Albania? That's a good one. Which one's
What's
not?
the question? Go back up.
Which country? Which one of these countries are not in Europe? So Spain definitely is, but I don't know about Yemen or Albania. I like that they did this. They made it
Yemen.
hard.
I'm going to go with Yemen.
I think it's Yemen as well.
Okay.
But I'm
okay.
not confident.
Because Albania is like Eastern Europe.
Ooh, you're right. Look
Whew.
at that. That's a good one. All
That
right.
was a good one. Geography's hard.
Geography's real hard.
Small.
The smallest bones in the human
know this
body
one.
are
Is it the ear
located
hyoid?
in the
Ear.
penis.
Oh, ear. Makes
Legs,
sense.
ear, or spine. I thought it was gonna be feet.
I don't think there's bones
I
in
thought it
your
was
penis.
the hyoid bone, but that's the only floating bone.
You've been watching too much true crime.
I fucking love it. Oh my gosh, I might be on NCIS,
only,
guys.
only people that
I
watch true
might be
crime
on
know what a
NCIS.
hyoid bone is.
Yeah, that's wild that you knew that.
Ear.
So you're going ears?
Yep, 100%.
What? So wait, the answer is ears.
This is the smallest bone.
I think we've been pretty equal intelligence-wise on this point.
Yeah,
you
so
get-
a Canadian who doesn't go to school versus public school American is similar.
Right. She learned
he's
enough,
still trying to figure it
She
out.
learned enough 3 days a week in Canadian schools to encompass a whole career of making it to school.
Okay, what is the antonym of the word black?
The opposite
crap.
of white,
So
right?
invisible, yellow, or white?
White. It's my guess. Oh,
Yeah.
you guys just believe me. That was
Well, because antonym, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
antonym-
I
is
didn't,
opposite.
I didn't have a chance.
sorry. You got to go fast for our test.
what is the capital of Alaska? Is
Yeah.
it Anchorage, Juneau, or Honolulu?
Don't say Honolulu.
Juneau.
You think it's Juneau?
I think so.
I think it's
It could be
Anchorage.
one of one. I was gonna lean Juneau just 'cause I think it is one of those trick questions.
Okay, you guys go Juneau, but isn't Anchorage in Alaska?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're both in Alaska.
Boom. It is Juneau.
Winners. Never been.
Named
It's the
after
only
the
state
gold
I've never been
prospect.
to.
I'm doing a show in Ketchikan, Alaska, March 2nd.
Shout out. Go
Get
see
some-
'em.
All you Ketchikanians out there,
Get your hot sauce.
come get some hot
and
sauce.
some laughs.
All right. Sodium chloride is the chemical name for salt,
Cocaine.
MSG, or sugar.
I think it's salt.
I like there's a giant picture of salt.
Yeah, it's definitely salt. I mean, if it's not, that picture is salt.
Yeah.
That's really fucked up.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is true.
I was like, if someone didn't break up the stash, and I
Yeah.
was like, that's gonna hurt your nose.
what causes the green pigment in plants?
Chlorophyll, more like borophyll, if you ask me.
Oh, look at that.
I learned more from Adam Sandler than I did from the public
Yeah,
school
right.
system.
I don't even know. How do you say the other words?
Chlorophyll, melatonin,
Oh.
and adamanite. Adamanite.
Anamanite.
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 Phenomenal.
Boop, boop, ba-doo-doo.
Chlorophyll.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Chlorophyll also turns the sunlight into food for plants.
It does? Nice.
Through photosynthesis.
Lines that are parallel.
Uh-huh.
What?
What about
Oh,
them?
never cross, are crisscrossed, touch each other eventually.
Never cross.
I mean, I like to touch each other eventually, even though I know that was your grandma. Your grandma
Yeah.
and your grandpa, they touched each other eventually.
eventually, they were not parallel.
No,
Okay, okay, we're getting almost close. These are
12.
getting easy. How many inches are in a foot?
12.
Ooh,
12.
IKEA taught me
You're
that.
a metric guy.
IKEA, what? Thanks, shout out IKEA.
Ooh. How about who is known for discovering the vaccine for polio?
Oh,
Vaccines
crap.
are bullshit. Polio's not
Jonas-
real.
Jonas Salk, Marie Curie, or Alexander Fleming?
I mean, I like the name Curie as someone who invented a cure. Come on, what a great last name.
Yeah.
I thought she was the one that did.
She did something, but I like her name.
Yeah, she was the thermometer lady.
I feel like the Alexander Fleming because it sounds
Yeah.
like phlegm.
Yep, we're gonna
Fleming
go.
These
feels
are
it.
all last
We're
names
gonna
that
go
have
with
to do with
Loogie.
helping you.
We're gonna go with the Loogie Alexander Fleming.
Yes, please.
Let's go Alexander Fleming.
Oh, no, who was
Jonas
it?
Salk was an American medical researcher and virologist.
So he's who we blamed for the pandemic.
Who invented the telephone?
Graham Bell.
Alexander Graham. We did this one last week too. Nikola Tesla.
And I knew it because of Canada.
Oh yeah, because
Because
Bell.
Bell Company is what all of our phone lines are.
I have a Pacific Bell jacket that I got at an estate sale. Everybody really loves. They come up to me like, my grandpa worked for that.
Yeah.
Before
It's
AT&T,
classic, yeah.
the global juggernaut, ruined small America.
America.
You don't even know where I stand politically. I'm just mad about everything.
There you go. I like that.
Okay, we got a couple more. Which is the fastest land animal? Antelope, cheetah, tiger.
Antelope,
Cheetah.
baby, run like an antelope, out of control. That's a fish
Cheetah can
lyric.
reach between 68 and 75
Oh man,
miles per
I just
hour.
wanted to sing fish lyrics.
Ooh, what is a tool used to measure air pressure? Is it
Oh.
a thermometer, barometer, or compass?
We've had this.
Barometric pressure.
So
Yeah,
it's
we had this.
barometer.
Yeah, we had this one like the first week,
Oh yeah, we did have that.
and we talked about it for a long time.
Yeah, I think we got it wrong back then.
We did.
The process of turning gas into liquid is called evaporation, emission, condensation. Yeah, farts. That is true. Well, what kind of farts?
What was the question?
Queefs.
The process of turning gas into liquid.
It's
is
called queefs.
It's called a cloud, baby. No.
Condensation.
Yeah, that's when it comes down. Evaporation
One
is
of my
when it goes
favorite
back
things
up.
is I
Oh shit! I did the wrong one.
oh well.
Oh yeah,
your
condensation is
fault.
when it goes
So
down.
that's your
Evaporation is
fault.
when it goes back
Yeah,
up.
condensate down.
Oh, you should get this one, Miss True Crime.
Oh crap!
What part of the cell contains the DNA? The cytoplasm,
Insane in the
or
membrane.
the
Insane in
nucleus?
the brain. Nucleus, right? But
Cytoplasm.
you think it's cytoplasm?
It's a fun word.
I don't know which.
I
have
think it's
no idea.
nucleus.
Which part of the cell contains the DNA? Well, the DNA is the brain of the cell.
Well, then maybe it's the membrane.
The membrane.
Because that's insane in the
But
brain.
membrane
That's the
is
song,
outside,
right?
though.
Maybe
Oh,
the
you're right, you're right.
cytoplasm is the shit all around the inside.
That's what I was thinking. Like the nucleus is that blue part,
Yeah.
Right. Isn't that the
and
question?
the cytoplasm is what's in the blue.
It contains the DNA.
Oh, like what's holding it around. Oh, I thought it was like what's in the middle. So then the cytoplasm
That's
does
what-
make
right?
sense.
I'm guessing it. So
No.
Oh,
it
I
was the
should have
nucleus.
trusted myself.
You should. That's crazy. And I think this is the last one.
Go, daddy.
What's 75% of the number 120? 90, 100, or 75?
75% of 120.
90. Wait, hold on.
It's got to be, because it can't be
What was the number?
75.
190? Oh, no, 120.
120.
I was like, what was it?
Yeah, it's
well,
gotta be
75% of
90.
175, so it can't be 75.
It's
So
either
it's,
100 or 90.
90.
I'm going to guess 90.
Well, and I mean, it would be divisibles of 45, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it? But that would only be 50% then.
120.
So if 75 is 3/4,
It's 60.
I know I'm talking not metric here.
75 is 3
120
quarters.
divided by 2 is 60. That's half.
So
Add
how many,
on another.
How many? How many?
Oh, wait, maybe it is 70. Wait, fuck me. 60 plus,
Wait,
it's
is
90.
it-
It's 90. Why are we, no, it's 90. Because 60 plus 30 is 90.
Whole tax girl.
I
For the
love
win.
it.
Hey, it's 90.
I wasn't letting you guys let me second guess
but you were
myself again.
you were
I
almost
almost
unsure
second
if
guessed
you-
it myself again because you can
15 out of
Technically
20.
16, 'cause I clicked one of the wrong ones.
That's okay. You
Yeah.
can still pass elementary school.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Kim.
Do you want to give anybody any dates or anything like that?
You can follow me on social media, Yates Comedy, YATES Comedy. And if you want to support directly, you can go to hahahotsauce.com.
Hot us. All right. School's out.
School's out.
Bing. That was my bell.